You don't want to look
It's okay. I probably get.
It's cool. It's on you. Whatever makes you feel comfortable.
Okay.
All right. I'm all about making you comfortable. So she was like, "Bro, you too vague. What's going on?" I'm like, "Oh, this is what you got going
Oh
on."
no, I'm like, what the fuck?
This is like what, episode 4, I think.
I've seen like bits and pieces. I don't have Facebook anymore, so I see.
Oh, you don't?
No, I deleted it. It's really toxic.
I feel you.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I was like, I can't argue with people out here anymore. You know me, I love to argue.
PhD, they just didn't go to college.
Yeah, I'm one of those people.
When it's not up yet. No. Are you using your tablet?
No, I'm using my computer straight.
Boy, we rigged this up, didn't we? It looks good in here.
Huh?
We rigged this up.
It does look good.
We switched it around a couple times.
That's because we know what we're doing now. Before it was like, all right, try this.
Yeah.
You know? All right. I'm hungry. Let's go do something else. My computer's. Whenever I get on Facebook, it's like, bro, fuck you. I don't know why it takes so long.
So what else happened? And who'd you go with? Who went with you?
Oh, it was my best friend's bachelorette party.
Okay, so you went by yourself. You drove by yourself.
Oh, I drove with her and 2 other girls up there, and I'll never do that again. I'll never fucking drive anywhere. Fun fact about I hate driving. I mean, you should
hate
know
driving?
that. Like,
Yeah.
I fucking don't want to drive. I don't. I
Like,
don't.
where are we going?
And then I drove 10 hours, and then on the way back, I didn't have to drive 10 hours there. Somebody split it with me. But like on the way back, she flew home early, the girl that split it with me. And then the other girl in the car is a criminal, so she can't drive outside of Florida, so that was cool. And then the other girl in the car,
What? It's on Facebook.
which is my best friend, does not have a license,
So you had to drive.
so I had to drive 10 hours.
We want to go, but
And it was monsooning. It was fucking pouring, and we're in no black people zone in Pensacola, and it's fucking dark.
Yo, some parts of the South.
And I'm just like, angry, and my anger is fueling me to get home because it was late and I'm tired. And I'm just like, don't ever want to do this shit again.
Whenever y'all are ready.
We ready? We live? Bro, you just jumped in the screen all of a sudden.
Yeah, because I had to check it to make sure it was good.
Oh, okay, it's lagging. My bad. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining us again. This is episode number 4, the BRAKKI BRAZZLE show. I have a special guest with me today. One of my good friends, known each other for a very long time. Well, a long time, I say. So I admire her work. She does some great things as far as cooking. So we're gonna get into that, and then we're just gonna have a good conversation. She's one of the smartest people I know, even though she probably doesn't think so. But she's very, very intelligent. I want to welcome to the show, Coop.
Hello, hi, nice to meet you.
So,
Hey, that's right. Sorry, I'm looking at the computer. My bad. Hey, what's up, y'all?
That's just so he can see himself.
That's
Yeah.
true. Okay, sorry.
all right. So we were just talking about New Orleans.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that a little bit more?
I was just talking about how I feel like the culture is really rich there, and I feel like that was a nice. I don't know. It was different. In Florida, you don't really see it as much. Like that unity, like the art on the side of the street, and people playing music, and just being really passionate about the things that they love, and like the history is really strong there, and like what they stand for is very, like they stand for unity. I mean, especially after like the hurricane that went through there, 18 feet of water. Like I can't even imagine.
Talking about Katrina?
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine. Like, and we get lots of hurricanes, and we're prepared for devastation. We think, but like that kind of devastation was. And it made them stronger. They don't really talk about what happened in Mississippi a lot, but Mississippi got really badly damaged as well. I think there was a town they were talking about. We went on a tour, and there was a town. I can't remember the name of it, but I guess there was like a certain amount of houses. Say there was 50 houses standing, and 2 were standing after the hurricane went through, and like people were on their roofs for 2 weeks at a time.
Was it like southern Mississippi?
Yeah, I guess whatever. I'm not really good with north, south, east, and west. So like
you.
whatever is closest.
So every
Like
time
New Orleans.
a hurricane happens in that area, I always, because I'm from Mississippi,
Oh,
and my
okay.
family, big majority of them live on close to I-10. Like you have to go through Mississippi.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That's my whole
wow.
foundation is right there. So every
So
time
it's,
there's a
like,
hurricane,
cringy?
yeah, I get very nervous.
Well,
for that.
lately, most of the one went up towards Boston and stuff, which they're not used to like getting hurricanes like that. So that must be whatever. It's already passed, I think. But
Why do you feel like Florida doesn't? Do you feel like Florida doesn't have culture like Louisiana? Or that type of
maybe
vibe?
in certain areas, but not where
we
I
are.
live. Yeah, I feel like people are fighting to be on top. You know, it's more of like a. I mean, I guess New Orleans is a very metropolitan and like happening place, but they established their roots really early, and there is no question about who they are. You know, I feel like I said earlier, I feel like a lot of people here are still trying to figure out their place. You know, like every time you turn around, somebody's telling you that you're wrong for how you feel, or like your beliefs are stupid, or how you're going about things is wrong. But at the end of the day, you don't really know where people came from, or
what they're going through.
yeah, or where they're trying to go. You know, so it's like.
So you don't like driving? I knew that about you. But would you ever go back to New Orleans?
Absolutely.
You have to fly, obviously.
Yeah, I mean the flight's like an hour and 45 minutes. I don't know why like that wasn't an option, but yeah, I'll definitely go back to New Orleans. I can't wait. Probably when it's cooler. It's really hot. People complain about it being hot here.
It's hot.
It is
humid.
freaking sticky. It's moist. It's very moist. So yeah, I would go when it's cooler.
What's your next trip? You got one planned?
Oh yeah, I'm going to Las Vegas in 2 weeks. About 2 weeks, September 10th. So pray for me. That's gonna be Midwest. I've never been
that far?
like I was talking about. I've only been up the Eastern Seaboard. New Orleans was the first time that I went this way, and now I'm gonna be going. Yep, and I'm doing a layover, and I've never done that before either.
You know what city?
What?
What city? Are you?
Oh, am I doing the layover? Yeah, Las Vegas or LAX, I guess, California.
Okay.
I don't know why I have to fly to California
California
to get to Las Vegas. I'm pretty sure I pass it, but I'm not the best at geography. But
that's weird.
You know, maybe it was cheaper. I didn't book the ticket.
So you grew up in Dunedin, right?
I grew up in Safety Harbor.
Safety Harbor?
Yeah, that's where
What was it like for you growing up?
Honestly, my childhood was...
You're like a Dominican, right?
No.
No?
No, I'm black and white.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My childhood was kind of like, to me, I feel like it was perfect. I mean, besides, like, you know, the stuff that happens at home, but, like, as far as the neighborhood that I grew up in and the people that I got introduced to at a young age, like, I grew up till I was 10, I think, in the same house that my mom grew up in. So that was really cool. We grew up in a nice part of Safety Harbor behind the fire station. It was Safety Harbor is a very all-inclusive neighborhood, like, Third Fridays poppin'. Now it's more of like a grown-up city. They got there's like
bars and stuff.
Yeah, where the corner store 7 Stars used to be is a liquor store.
Yeah.
Where the hardware store used to be is
Yeah.
now a brewery. So it's like, oh, okay, like so they've kind of, you know, there's like 15 to 20 children in my neighborhood. Yeah. We'd play outside all day, like all night. My mom could call me from the backyard to come in and get dinner.
Why did y'all move?
It wasn't because we wanted to. What happened was like I was talking about, like the stuff that goes on at home. You never know what's happening. You kind of like, as a child, my parents did the best they could, of course. I think that they did fabulous. But we went through a situation at that time where my mom felt like she needed help and she wasn't getting it. And this man, his name was Richard Wilson, came and knocked on her door, and he claimed to be a Christian man, and said that he was going to help her. She was behind in her mortgage, and my dad had just lost his job, or something like that. You know, I can't remember the specific details, but I do know that he said that he could help her, and the part about being Christian came up a lot in the conversation. Like I said, I was 10, so I don't really, you know, I just remember coming home from school. Anyway, she signed some paperwork, and he was supposed to be giving her a loan. And in the paperwork, he slipped in a quitclaim deed.
Oh, wow.
And she signed it, and supposedly she signed it. They went to court because she doesn't believe that she signed it. She believes that he, you know, like forged her signature.
What?
And anyway, basically one day I came home and there was padlocks in our door, and we lost everything that my mom grew up with, all of her childhood pictures, all of the
We're still in
Christmas ornaments that I'd made. Yeah. And that's pretty much when life changed for us. You know, like there was a rift between like my parents because my dad felt like my mom made a huge mistake, which she did.
But she didn't know.
Of course not, but like it's hard for him, you know, because they both lost now. Everybody lost. He lost his home, truly, she's the one that lost because it was her.
Did that cause resentment?
Of
between
course,
your parents?
yeah, definitely.
So
So then my dad, I love him, but he's had his battles with life, and so that caused him to, you know, I don't know, drift away. You know, like he kind of didn't know what to do. Maybe it was the man thing. He wasn't able to provide or fix the situation, or, you know, whatever. So we kind of just went to like our own spiral type situation. We had to find a place to live. And we were talking about how still back then, I mean, I was 10. So it was like 2005. And CDR was still expensive, but we were...
You were 10 in 2005?
Yeah. 5th grade, 12, 11, something like
okay.
that. Yeah, 2005. So we had to find another place to live, and my parents still wanted to live in Frosty Harbor, so we rented this home off Landfield. I remember my houses by the street names, and then the numbers. I always say, but I
know Cedar Street.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like the subdivision.
I'm always in St.
That's what they call it. The
sub
over there, Lincoln Heights and stuff like that. Cedar Street. You take that road left off McMullen.
Right.
Yeah. The subdivision. Yeah, that's where the black people are at.
Oh yeah.
Not saying that. Like,
I didn't know that.
I'm black, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that's primarily where they stay on the other side of the tracks.
Okay.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, culture-wise, like it's weird that like that's still a thing. Like, but anyway, so we moved to this other house, and it was too expensive for them to live in. And like I said, my dad was going through some shit, and the things that my mom finally like was trying to get some of her stuff out of the house, and my dad wasn't there to do it because he wasn't in the right frame of mind. And then, you know, at my age, I had a bicycle, so I'd go on my bike with my backpack and get as much as I could. But at 10,
you the only child?
I'm my mom's only child. Yeah.
So being that guy was like Christian, are you religious?
I mean, I guess I was when I was growing up. I have faith.
What about now?
I do believe in a higher power. I guess I prayed to God.
You pray to
I mean, I do. I prayed to somebody, you know, and I believe in a higher power. I call him God. I won't lie, you know, like. But I don't think that other people and other religions, besides like, you know, like alienism and stuff like that, you
man-made shit.
Yeah, I don't. But I mean, I guess technically it's all man-made. We don't.
Science?
We don't really know.
What about science?
I do believe. See, that's the hard part.
Scientology?
I don't believe in that, but I believe in science. Like, I believe that, there's like that fine line, you know, in Christianity, things were kind of just like, boom, God took 7 days, and he kind of just like, bing, bang, you know, like with a magic wand, and that's not, we all went to school, we know that's not the fucking case. We know that like cells and organisms come together sometimes, and they create something, like a plant, boom. And,
so what do you feel like man came from?
Animals. I think that some people still look like animals.
You think we came from animals?
I think that there's a lot of people that look like things, you know, like I think that I look like a monkey sometimes. Like a cute monkey, you know, like a cute one.
Yeah, cute.
And then there's like I see a lot of like white people, and I feel like sometimes they look like birds. I've seen a couple white people that look like birds. I can't say that I've seen many black people that look like birds.
So
I've seen this man that looks like a praying mantis one time.
So So animals came before humans, but we
Well, yeah.
transformed into.
I don't think that's far fetched, but people do. But they call it evolution, right?
Right.
I think that maybe people came from dinosaurs. There's some people that look like dinosaurs. I don't know. Think about
That's
it. Next time
interesting.
you're in fucking public. Sorry, are we allowed to cuss in here?
Yeah, that's fine.
Next
You
time.
said Publix
Next
or
time you're in
public?
Publix or
Okay.
public, whatever. I look at people. I mean, I'm a bartender, so that's all I do is look at people, and I'm like, wow, that.
Do I look
person
like a
looks
monkey?
a little bit. No, but your nose isn't really. No,
My nose isn't what?
No, you're not like monkey-like. Like mine could be like piggy, I guess, a little bit too. I don't know.
All right. Bo, you look like a monkey, boy.
Huh?
Nothing. So
I'm watching it.
no, I asked you that question because the guy who had your mom sign the paperwork was
Yeah.
Christian, so
Yeah,
he
supposedly.
used that as
A crutch.
to
get into
be
it.
deceitful.
Absolutely.
So that didn't like deter you from anybody who's in that pool. Like, I'm a Christian. You don't feel like a trigger. Like,
No. I just thought that he was a liar, and he just used it as, I mean, anything can be taken and made an extreme. No matter what it is, people can use something for evil. So he obviously just used it, and it wasn't his first time, and it probably wasn't his last.
Yeah.
When my mom did follow up and do an article in the paper, and he was in all that stuff, but unfortunately she was never able to get her house back, and she was never able to, but it is what it is. No, I never really looked at it. But that's the thing. I was just talking to my friend, and he's been one of my best friends since, I guess, sophomore year of high school, and we always have heated debates about everything, I guess.
Yeah.
He's really into, I don't know, he went to school for, what is it called? I don't know. He likes politics. He really likes politics. He really likes debating, and so do I. I didn't go to school or anything, but I've always liked to argue.
so you should be a lawyer, maybe.
I mean, yeah, but I have enough anger. I don't need to be angry all the time. But we were talking about the other day. I was like, well, it's funny that I was like, when a person of color when something bad happens on TV, you pray almost that it's not like a person, or me personally, I pray almost that it's not a person of color, because I personally feel, a little bit, not responsible, but I feel like, damn, now they have another reason to look at us
Gotcha.
poorly, and
Yeah.
I'm like, do you feel like that when a white person goes into an elementary school and kills 15 kids?
I think it's like.
Do you feel that guilt? You don't. You can't. You guys don't. You just walk around it's Gucci.
But you know
a
what?
cop's not going to pull me over
Yeah.
and make anything up.
But when we think of white people, for me, I think sometimes I forget that not all white people are privileged.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? But then when
It's
I do
hard to-
hear or see one that's had mom and dad, and dad makes money,
Yeah.
and spoon fed, and then they're doing some stupid shit, and I'm just like, yo, but it will be on the news for a couple of days, but a black person, that shit's on the news for
And
months.
you're ripped to shreds.
Yeah,
And next thing
everybody
you know,
is.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy about the news is when that shit happens, how do people look at us when we're in the public now? You ever think about that?
Well, yeah. That's the biggest thing.
When somebody does some shit, a black person, I feel like the next day when I go outside, everybody's looking at me.
Yeah, are you going to do that?
Yeah. But if it was somebody
we're not
shut
all
up
the
in school-
same. That's
exactly.
the thing. That's my biggest issue, and sometimes when that's something we don't always agree on. He doesn't feel that, and I understand. He is a white male. You probably don't feel that, but I'm wondering sometimes why. Why don't you feel embarrassed that somebody that looks like you possibly did something so horrible? I was like, I shouldn't take on the guilt. I probably shouldn't, but it's just natural because when you walk out, like you said, the next day, And if a black person had walked into a church or a school or whatever, or into a concert, movie theater, wow,
Yeah.
there's so many now that I'm like thinking about it, and decides to freaking off people because they're having a bad day. I mean, they get up and go to the store the next day and it's no big deal. But if somebody else was to do that is of color, not just black, brown, whatever, Asian people, because of coronavirus, they're getting beat up on the street. Like,
That's crazy.
what's wrong with people? Like, I'm
That's
just like,
crazy.
so I don't know. That's why I was talking about the culture. Like, people don't really. My dad's biggest thing growing up, like, I was just talking to my friend, like, we were joking the other morning, and she was talking about how, like, because being mixed has always been like a weird thing. I don't know why.
That was a question.
I don't know why it's weird, but like it is. People like, especially older people, are like, "Oh, like you're mixed," and I'm like, "Yep, that's me."
But are you when you're identified as mixed, but you're like, you kind of just get thrown in the category of being
I'm not
black.
mixed. Yeah, I'm black.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part,
Any mixed.
Yeah, I'm mixed when it suits people. I'm white when it suits people. Like,
got
like
you.
in a certain situation.
Damn, for real?
Yeah, I mean.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, like I've been asked stupid questions like, if you had to choose, would you be white or black? And I'm like,
Wow.
No,
what?
my favorite is why do you talk like that?
Yeah.
That's my favorite question.
I don't really get that much. I don't know if that's because I talk like, I don't know how I talk, but I mean, I guess when I get more aggressive and I feel some type of way. But I've always been, but my dad was really big on that. Like when I was like, I remember I used to go to work with him. He's had me go to work with him since I could do anything, I guess, pretty much, like. He was like, you change the TV channel, you can freaking push this vacuum. Like, that was my dad's mentality. So, like, I started going to work with him at a young age, probably like 8 or 9. And he worked at this place called Waterboy. And we'd, like, clean out those water machines that are at, like, a doctor's office or whatever. We'd, like, clean those and they'd, like, deliver the big-ass water jugs to places. So, like, we'd fill those up and clean those and all that stuff. And while we were sitting there, or while we were there, one day, he was just like, hey, one day, Cooper, somebody's going to call you an N-word. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I'm 8. So I'm like, okay, well, and what? What am I supposed to do about that? And he's like, you're not supposed to do anything. It is what it is. Like, just let those people be. Like, he's like...
I think that was very commendable of him to say that.
Yeah, but, like, it's crazy that he had to tell an 8-year-old...
Yeah.
Because I have my other really good friend. I have my godmother, so like my goddaughter's 2, and my friend is worried about like her innocence. Like, and when is she supposed to start peeling back those layers? Like
it just comes though.
Yeah.
Not like.
I mean, I don't know shit, like about being a parent, and she's an only child, so she doesn't really know shit about being a parent. She's kind of learning, like you said, but that scares her, like having to, and those are things that like now that I have a godchild and like I'm watching her grow up, it's like, I don't, that must have been hard for my parents to decide like when it was time. I mean, they always did things that they weren't supposed to do. So they had to tell me when I went to, like, I didn't go to preschool. They were like, maybe coddling, I don't know. I'm my mom's only child, so she was very like,
protective.
I don't want her to go anywhere, like,
Yeah.
And so when I went to kindergarten, they had another long talk with me, like, if you tell people this kind of stuff, you're gonna get taken away. Do you want to be taken away? And I'm like, no, like, obviously not. So like, my dad's biggest saying was, once your business becomes everybody's business, you go out of business.
God.
He used to say that all the time.
Say it again?
Once your business becomes everybody's business, you go out of business. Marty Henry's quote, y'all.
Oh, that was Marty?
That's my dad.
Dad. Oh, yeah, dad's quote. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
And he would say that to me all the time. Like, that would, like, before I go to school, before I go to people's houses.
It's self-explanatory, but break it down.
Oh, like,
what does it mean?
Don't talk about, like, what happens inside your house. I mean, it's true, like, what happens behind closed doors is behind closed doors, but don't bring your business. Like you were talking about, social media is a big thing right now. People are trying to find their niche, they're trying to find their place, so they'll do things out of character to find that niche, to find that place, but then you have to stick with it and you have to keep, and that's draining. It does cause depression. It causes like, like you're trying to.
What if it's just natural though?
I guess, but not everything is so natural. And when you do bring your business outside of your house, now you don't have any personal, I don't know, it's not authentic anymore, like, I don't know. Anyway, what I'm saying about the quote is like, some things should be private. Not everything is for everybody. And if you do share your secrets or what makes you too early, somebody else can take that and now brand it and make it your own. And now, now you're set back and you got to find who you are. Like, find something else, like, so he was just big on that, like, don't talk about things that people don't need to know about, like, who you are. He was big on not being a follower. My dad's never been a freaking follower. He's always been very different, very 100% him. I mean, he wears 2 different shoes so that people think he's crazy, so don't talk to him, he's always been like, very sure of who he is, and that's something I've always loved about him.
From him?
Like, there's lots of things that my dad hasn't done right in life, but I feel like he's always tried, even the things that he has done right, he'd look at me and be like, listen, I did it already, so you don't have to do it. Like, you've seen the outcome, don't do that, obviously.
You live by example.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I feel like a lot of things that he went through, I'll never have to go through because he did it, And same goes for my mom, but she was more of the, like, I don't know, level-headed parent. My dad was kind of like he's not free-spirited by any means, don't get me wrong, but like, he would do things and then he would get in trouble, but I don't know if that has to do with him being colored or, I mean, he was born in 1967, so, and my mom was born in 1959. I probably shouldn't say that, but anyway, she grew up in Frosty Harbor, and she went to school with segregation until she was in 6th grade.
Wow.
So the fact that she has a mixed child sometimes kind of like...
Wow.
It's crazy.
What was she going through back then?
Well, she didn't...
She didn't have to go through anything? Like, Frosty Harbor was...
Well, my mom has always been heavy, which is something like... She has something wrong with her thyroid. Her thyroid doesn't work with her body, so... She's always been heavy, and so she's been... Both of my parents have been judged and perceived by people, what is it called? Prejudice. Had their own prejudice, different prejudice though. My mom's been, looked at poorly because of her weight, and that goes to excess eating. Just people not minding their own business and worrying about what other people got going on. And then my dad's obviously been, because of his skin color, and being a male, a black male, that's always, I don't know what it's like, but I've seen how people treat him and look at him and stuff like that, and so, like, they both had their different, both of my parents had a hard time in life, so sometimes I think I carry that with me, and it makes me have a hard time, just because it's, like, hard to move past it, I feel for them, I guess. I don't know. And I don't know how, because both my mom's parents, my grandfather's from West Virginia, and my grandmother is from Massachusetts, and she's very Irish. Her grandparents are from Ireland. I mean, her
What part of
parents
Massachusetts?
From Ireland. She's from Lexington, Massachusetts. Yeah. And then my dad's family is from Coffee Country, Alabama. So I don't know what happened there.
South. How'd they meet? Dang.
My mom was his boss at a pool company. They built pools, so that's how they met. But I don't know how I think that my mom being heavy and already being judged, in school and having a hard time, she kind of hung out with people that were probably also, not the cool, perceived, so she hung out with people that were different, and that kind of changed her views in life, and she didn't. But she said she never perceived people, by the color of their... I know that one time she told me a story how she brought home, like, a colored girl, or a black girl, I don't know why I'm saying colored, I don't know, a black girl to eat dinner, and her parents made her eat outside on the front porch.
Wow.
you know, with her.
Your mom's parents?
Yeah, and she didn't really understand, you know, until afterwards, and she went inside and they explained to her why. But she also had a rebel flag in her car, you know, like painted on the top of her car because
your mom did?
yeah,
It
but
just stands for the South.
yeah, but like some people perceive it differently because she
Mm.
had it painted on her car, but she'd hang out with black people, and when she'd go into like the black neighborhoods, they'd be like, "Why the hell you got that shit on your car, dude?" Like. But you want to be over here, like, you need, and she's like, "What?" And she'd say the same thing, like, "What? I'm just Southern, you know, like, you know, like she says taters and oil, you know, like that's how she says things. You know, she's always been just really Southern.
Some people don't. I guess
and
they don't.
And she never correlated it with being racist. She was like, I'm not, you know, like, you know, she's like, that never was a thing. But she's like, once it was brought to my knowledge, I obviously took that shit off my car, you know, like she's like, because that's not what I want people to perceive me as. I'm just, you know, like she's a very all-inclusive type of individual. She doesn't care what she looks like, or she's very, she's great. Like, so yeah, that's it.
What is she doing now?
She's disabled, so she just be chilling.
Just be chilling.
Yeah, she has lupus and stuff, so especially what's going on.
Did I meet your mom?
I don't think so. I don't really
Introduce people
because people. Like I said,
Judge.
I feel like I carry that shit with me, so I feel like I'll have to kill somebody
Respect.
if they are disrespectful to my mom.
You know about me. I'm from the South.
Oh,
Let's change it up a little bit.
Okay.
So, let's get into you know, how did you fall for like the love of cooking?
I mean, probably my mom. My grandmother, my mom cooked when I was growing up, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. She worked at Jable until I was in first grade.
Jable, I feel like I just saw that today.
Jable Circuit, she built computer boards, and she was
In
like
St.
a
Pete?
boss.
It's
I
like
feel like it
Wilmington?
is in St. Pete. No, it's, I mean, maybe, I don't know. Yeah.
Like Gandhi.
Yeah, you're going to,
Yeah.
So,
I did see that today.
Yeah, so she worked there, and she was like a higher up, and she was a boss, and she was really good. My mom's very smart, always has been. But she also always liked to cook, so she cooked breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Even when she worked, she would just make my breakfast and put it in the microwave, and I just heat it up, you know, whatever. So I always cooked with her when I was growing up. But her mom was a brilliant cook and baker. My mom's never really liked to bake. And baking's more of a science. It takes more patience. She just doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
I've always liked to bake. I like to see what happens. I do get frustrated, but like, and my grandmother. So I never really was around my grandmother like that. When I mean, I guess I was.
Your mom's mom.
My mom's mom.
Okay.
Yeah, she died when I was young, like 5.
But so you were never around her like that?
I mean, when she was in a home for the most.
I got you.
She had
But she's a cook?
dementia or something like that, but she was a really good, phenomenal cook, and she would do like the whole big spread, you know, like, and the forks and knives all
Certain
set
way,
up,
yeah,
you know, like she was like that. She was very like, you know, the all-American type. I don't know.
And she was Irish?
Grandmother. Yeah, she's very 100% Irish, very Irish.
What about your grandmother? You hung out with her a lot? Were you in the kitchen with your grandmother? That was your grandmother or your great-grandmother?
No, my grandmother. No, I never. So, but my mom got a lot of her. My mom got all of her recipes, and she would just talk about her a lot. She still talks about her a lot and how she cooked and certain things, like she made her own pickles. She, I don't know, baked really good pies. Always made bread. Was always cooking for like. She worked at, I don't know if you've heard of Whistle Stop in Safety Harbor, but it used to be called Frosty Harbor.
Whistle Stop?
Whistle Stop. It's over by the...
On Main Street?
Yeah.
Next to...
the railroad tracks.
Left side, right side?
Left.
Going
towards,
on the left.
like, McMullen Booth. Wait.
Or going towards, like,
going towards
Safety Harbor
McMullen
spot?
Booth, it would be to the right.
Going towards Safety Harbor spot.
It would be to the left.
Left side.
Yeah. But
I see a restaurant, man.
But it's at the complete end of the safety. It's at the other end of the Safety Harbor spot. So the Safety Harbor spot is like the end point for Safety Harbor.
Right.
You know, like that's like the destination. This is like back
By
like,
the railroad track.
Yeah, by the railroad tracks.
I see a
Anyway,
restaurant. Okay,
she
I'm gonna look
worked
next
there.
time.
Yeah, she worked there, but it was called Frosty Harbor, which I don't know if you've heard of the movie fried green tomatoes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, that's kind of what the restaurant was based off. I'm pretty sure because the
You
fried green
recommend it?
tomatoes-
Is what you're saying?
Well, my grandmother worked there. I mean, sure, you can go there and eat it, but I think it's overpriced. But that's anyway.
So you get it from your grandmother?
But my
and your
grandmother
mom.
worked. Yeah, but I think more.
But
my
you bake
grandmother-
though.
I do bake.
Yeah.
I love baking. I think it's
So you got that from grandmother.
when I'm successful in baking, I just find so much joy in it. But as far as everybody's like, open up a restaurant and cook and do all that thing, I don't want to.
What's your goal, Cooper?
I don't really know.
Cooking with Coop on Instagram.
Yeah, you can follow me.
Follow.
I don't really know what my goal is when it comes to food. I would love to be a food critic.
Okay. And that means what?
That means
Trying out food and
talking about how I feel about it. But the thing is what makes me qualified to say whether something's good or
What
not.
makes me qualified to do a podcast?
I guess.
My own show.
Yeah, that's true.
You can go to a restaurant. We can take the cameras inside. You try the food. We can try that food together because I love eating. And you can, you say food critic, criticize
Critique,
it.
yeah.
Critique it.
Yeah, well, basically that's what I'd love to do. That's what I'd rather.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
You should do that. What's holding you back? What is holding you back?
I guess figuring out how I would execute it.
So you need a plan. What's that?
Huh?
Hanging out with us, we will solve all.
That's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
well, then I guess
So that we
this
took
is
that
the
part out.
first step, yeah.
We took that part out. So
Step
what else
one.
is stopping?
I guess sometimes being nervous that nobody's gonna take a liking to it, but like you were stating earlier, it doesn't really matter. You do things because you want to and because it's what you like to do. So I just need to get past my fear of failing, I guess, But that's the whole part of, like I just said, with baking something, like I do have a fear of it's not gonna work out in the beginning, but then when it does, I'm happy as hell and I'm excited.
And it
to
works
eat it,
out.
and
Yeah.
it tastes beautiful. So it's like, and I'm ready to post it online.
Yeah.
So
And your pictures be looking so fly. Like I
Thank
just be
you.
wanting to taste something.
So I just
Take
need to
some
get
home
past
with
that.
me or something. Bring it back to the crib. So are you? No, I want to ask you this question because you brought it up before. What's your dish to cook like? What's your style like? Italian,
Probably Southern.
Southern, but you said you like Southern and something else.
I'm kind of like, I love like Mexican food.
So Southern and Mexican food.
I love Mexican food, but I mean, I don't know if I'm like a qualified Mexican cook or anything, but but I love cooking. I love y'all's food. So,
Yeah.
I love it. I could eat Mexican food every damn day.
Every day.
But my mom doesn't. She's not too keen on it. But she loves Southern food. But I do like Southern food, but I don't really fry that much food, which I
Okay.
feel like is I feel
Southern
like
thing?
Southern. When people think Southern, they think fried, fat, lard. I don't think I've ever even bought lard. I don't even know where you find lard in the
Fine
store,
lard.
to be
I
honest.
think, to be honest, lard is better than butter.
Yeah, well,
I heard.
where did I get that?
It's a good question. You
Yeah.
probably got to find like a farmer's
Market
market,
or something.
like a
Well,
farm or something.
Yeah, but I don't really fry like that. I like shallow fry, like a pork chop or something.
Okay.
But like I do like Southern stuff, like biscuits and gravy. Oh, that's probably like I'm really good at that. I could probably make that with my eyes closed at this point. But love chicken wings. I guess I like to cook. I like a little bit of everything because I like Asian flavors a lot too. My mom's always really liked Asian flavors, so
Yeah.
I definitely got that from her. She worked with a lot of Vietnamese when she worked at Jabil, so she's always loved Asian flavors. She's
Yeah.
always used them. They're really light and vibrant, and I love citrus in food. I don't know. So yeah, because I love Mediterranean seasonings and flavors too. So I don't know.
Are you one of those people that make their own seasoning?
Yeah, I don't ever buy premixed seasoning. It has so much sodium in it.
Take notes. Damn.
So much sodium in it. You're ruining yourself. Okay. You should always just look on the back of this. Just look on the back
I
of the
know,
seasoning,
man,
and then
I
just buy
know.
those seasonings and just make that to your
And just
house.
make it yourself.
Because without the salt, because like they always add salt is like the
God.
main ingredient, like for most of them. I'm not gonna say all of them, but most of them. So yeah, I have a ton of spices. I should buy. I like to use fresh spices when I can, but you know.
Wait, so you said Mexican food? Is it Mexican food or is it Hispanic food?
Well, I primarily like Mexican, but I'll eat all Latin.
All
I
Latin.
don't really discriminate. But
Me
like,
either.
you know, Mexican's the one I've had the most of. I do like Cuban food a lot.
Favorite Mexican dish?
Puerto Rican food. I like
Favorite
too.
Southern dish?
Favorite Mexican.
And
Dish.
favorite Southern dish?
I mean, probably when it comes to Mexican dish. Oh,
Ooh.
shit. I mean, honestly, I love like a good taco. Like, there's nothing better than like
you
a good.
can't lose with the taco.
Yeah, like a good like carnitas, like really good shredded spicy carnitas, like with the.
I like barbacoa.
Yeah.
Tacos.
Okay. I'm not really
Soft.
a big steak. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I don't
for
want
sure.
any crispy.
I don't
shell
want that
tacos.
shit, no.
That's like that's childhood shit.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
eat a
Thank
crispy
you.
taco,
Hey,
get over yourself.
Yeah.
And
I'll
I-
dip it in some
Yeah,
sauce, but
and
nah.
I only eat flour if I have to. Like,
Yeah.
I'd rather have like corn. Please.
Corn.
When
for
I
sure.
went to Puerto Rico, that was one of the best trips I ever took or had taken. Whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
what
you
to
got
cover.
it.
Anyway, and the person that I went with, his name is Bravo. His family lives in Puerto Rico, so I got to like the authentic, stay, and it was fantastic. And a fun fact about Puerto Rico is they don't grow corn on their island, so plantains is like the main starch. Like corn is
shit.
like.
So they make
heavy
their
starch.
tortillas out of.
Huh. I don't think I even had a taco when I was in.
You didn't have a
Puerto
taco
Rico.
in Puerto
Now
Rico?
that I think about it, no.
What
but
did you have in Puerto
I
Rico?
like mofongo. It's a big thing
Mofongo,
there.
I had
But
that.
it comes in like all different. Like there's like a tower mofongo that you almost break into, and it'll like have a surprise inside with more meat and
so.
whatever else.
Have you been to that place downtown Clearwater? It's like Fronton for something.
Mm-mm.
Man, you gotta go. It's like I think it's Cuban spot.
Yeah.
I think so.
I
Like
mean, a lot
the
to
waiters speak Spanish. Like
Oh,
you
really?
have to. I had to
Yeah.
go with a translator
Oh, okay.
to get in there.
Yeah, they have really
But-
good, and I didn't realize, I didn't think I liked plantains that much until I went there
Yeah.
and tried them in so many different ways. Like I think I had I don't know if it was a hot dog. I'm not even sure what it was, but I know it was really good and it was fried, and the outside was a plantain. Instead of like a corn dog, it was
Right.
a plantain
With a hot dog on the inside.
with something
What?
like that.
I need to find out what that
yeah.
is.
It was on the side of a street in like
A plantain with a hot dog on the inside.
fried.
Fried.
And I think there was cheese in it. And it was so good.
Favorite Southern dish.
Favorite Southern dish.
Favorite Southern dish.
Honestly, chicken was my second word. Okay, dad was my first word. Dada. Chick was my second word. I have always loved chicken. I can eat chicken breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I never get sick of it.
Chicken what though? Not fried.
I mean, I do like fried chicken. But I don't know if chicken wings are considered Southern. But like chicken, well, I'm trying to think. I do love fried chicken. I just waited at Publix 25 minutes
For the fried chicken.
For fresh fried chicken. 'Cause
Yeah.
I only eat white meat chicken, so
You what?
fun fact. I only eat white meat
You
chicken.
only eat white meat?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is it? Who served? Oh, KFC. I guess that's dark meat.
Well, yeah, a lot of places have more
Publix got dark meat?
Yeah, most people
I
are
didn't
keen
know
to
that.
dark meat because it's juicier. But it kind of, I don't know. I've always just liked white meat.
Yeah.
Anyway, favorite Southern dish.
I don't think I
Let
ever
me-
had dark meat.
Let me think.
That's crazy.
Yes, you have.
I ain't never had dark
A
meat.
thigh, a drum. You probably just eat whatever. 'cause
Just
you
ate
like
it, didn't
chicken.
even know.
I'm sure she's the expert.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Whoa, whoa. We need the peanut gallery. So favorite, so you said
dish.
chicken, but what?
So probably like my favorite Southern meal would be like fried chicken breast, macaroni and cheese, baked macaroni and cheese.
You like collard greens?
Of course.
Yes! Yes, sir!
Collard
You know about
greens.
the collard
And
greens?
then like a jalapeno honey cornbread.
What?
Like that's like probably my favorite.
Your honey cornbread.
Yeah.
You gotta make some, because I ain't never
Okay.
had that.
Lately I've been making a cauliflower and cheese. My mom doesn't like me to call it cauliflower mac and cheese because she's like, there is no damn mac. And I'm like, whatever. Okay, so cauliflower and cheese.
Okay.
But basically, I just replaced the cauliflower for macaroni.
So why? I feel like you're going towards like a more healthy
version.
vibe. Like, why is that?
There is no reason really.
Just
I just have always really liked vegetables.
okay.
My mom not so much.
I got you.
It's not that she doesn't like vegetables, but I love them, and I've never really liked fruit too much. Like if I have fruit, it has to be blended up in a smoothie so that I
Really?
can just drink it. Yeah. I'm
Not
not
any fruit you could just eat by itself.
I mean, I can.
Watermelon?
No.
Y'all like watermelon?
Not at all.
Not like berries or nothing.
I mean, if I do, I'm forcing it.
What
If you see me eating a berry, it's because it's severely hungry.
is
There's
it? The
nothing
texture?
else. No, it's just I just don't. It's just they're sweet, and if I want something sweet, like if I want, they're like sweet but not sweet enough. You know, it's just a different kind of sweet. I want chocolate.
Okay.
If I'm thinking of something sweet, some people are like fruit. Like that's like no. If it's chocolate covered fruit, sure. Like,
Okay.
But that's not.
It's got to be chocolate.
It's
though.
not, you know, I'm not going to eat fruit for breakfast either. Like, if I eat breakfast, I want it to be like grits, bacon, boiled egg.
So we got white meat chicken, macaroni and cheese, jalapeno cornbread. You ever had cornbread with the corn in it?
Yeah, of course.
You like it like that?
Yeah.
You ain't never. It's good. It's good.
It's good.
So that was 3, right? Or collard greens.
Collard greens.
That's a plate. That's a whole plate right there.
Black eyed peas are good.
Yeah. black-eyed peas.
Like with the pickled onion on top. That's
Mm.
really good. I like southern food. I like making fried pork chops. I've made that a couple times and put it on my page. Pound them out and it's a shallow pan fry though. You know, just like a shallow oil and you like bread with like a country gravy. That's really
Okay.
good.
Okay.
Damn. I think that when it comes to cooking Southern, I just kind of take bits and pieces of Southern and I make it my own. There really is no specific style that I that's a hard question for me because I just cook what I feel, what I feel, or what I have in my
you
fridge.
never went to like culinary school
No.
or nothing. So do you
I probably
read
should.
cooking magazines or like do you watch TV?
I constantly am not cooking magazines, but cooking articles.
Okay.
I always am watching like cooking videos. I've tried to. Cause you talked to me about making cooking videos, and I have the tripod at my house, and
You
all
made
that
the
stuff.
cooking
I
video?
just like I don't think that I'm doing it right.
Yo, we finna do a show, Cooking with Coop, right? I gotta
Okay.
find a better kitchen than what we have. We gonna bring her in the kitchen and she's gonna prepare something. Cause I'm not even gonna lie, in the kitchen, yeah. So my favorite thing with my grandmother when I was growing up was she would always watch cooking shows.
Yeah.
And that was her. That and like she would call it stories, but soap operas.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So, the cooking shows though, that was her thing, and I really enjoy watching it,
Same.
especially like back in the day.
Growing
when,
up, my mom
Yeah.
always had it on the Food Network.
Man, listen,
Loved
that was like relaxing.
Admiral Agassi,
Oh, my God.
Bobby Flay. I mean, they're still on TV. Like
What's your girlfriend name? The cooking, the lady that cooks.
It's not my girlfriend, it's my mom.
No, I'm talking about what's Ray.
Oh,
Rachel Ray.
Oh,
Rachel
love
Ray.
Rachel Ray
Oh
going
my
on.
God.
And
Y'all
her-
going through some things?
Okay. Her 30-minute meals used to be that jam.
Oh, my
you know,
God.
like-
That was her best contract ever.
Yeah, she was bomb.
and she was always very like, I don't know. Always felt like Rachel was like a normal,
Yeah.
a normal person. Like you could see her on the street and talk to her, and she wouldn't be like, bitch, I'm fucking famous.
What happened to the lady, the real country lady?
Oh, Paula Deen.
Paula
She said
Deen.
the N-word.
Yeah.
She said she dropped the N word. That's
Yeah.
what happened. She
She got vetoed. But honestly, let's be real. Paula Deen's got that fire. But like,
Yeah.
also when you look at the history of cooking, like think about like what were their names? Like the first two, I don't know, famous chefs in my opinion were Thomas Jefferson and George Washington chefs, and they were both black. Hercules and Hemmings.
What?
Yeah, they were both
Break
black.
it down then. I ain't know nothing about this.
They were both black, and they'd cook honey baked ham, collard greens, mac and cheese, all the things that the South is built off of that I'm sorry to say, but white people take and make their peach cobbler, stuff like that. Those come from black people. They come from black people in kitchens cooking for the man.
Oh my God!
And they were,
Abraham Lincoln.
No. Well, Abraham Lincoln may have had a black chef too. Who knows? But George Washington and Thomas Jefferson had the first two famous chefs in America, in my opinion. I mean, they're the president. I mean, George Washington, the first president of the United States. How can you get more famous than that?
That's crazy.
And I think that it was, I can't remember because they both start with H, but Thomas Jefferson, my grandmother always said that he was part of her ancestry. So I always I don't know if that's true, but I've looked into it, but I can't find any facts. Anyway, because my grandmother's redheaded and he had redheaded black children because Sarah Hemmings. So it was Hemmings because, he had like 600 slaves. I'm pretty sure, like, all together.
I thought
and
you were going to say 600 kids.
No, and he had this big plantation, and you can still go see it in Virginia, I'm pretty sure, but Sarah Hemmings Hemmings was his chef. And Thomas Jefferson even sent him, he had studied French cuisine. He sent him over to France, and he got educated in French cuisine and would, so it wasn't all Southern cooking, but a lot of it derived from, it was all black people. Okra, things that they came over with. I mean, they couldn't even grow rice in South Carolina until they had the means to do it, but they couldn't figure it out. And then they dragged the people over from Bienne and shipped them, put this on the boat, and whoever survived, boom. And then they created Carolina Gold rice. And that is so it wasn't cotton that they first, that's not what black people did make that happen too.
Right.
But it was the rice. That was the first thing that they cropped and made a big moneymaker, for the white man, and it came off of black people's backs. It's just things, and they brought that here. I mean, the Carolina Gold rice, yams, which are not the same as a sweet potato. I think that people need to understand that.
Break that down. Yams, sweet potato.
They have a different texture. I mean, sweet potatoes and yams are both very fibrous, but yams are more fibrous, and they're like
bigger.
They're bigger and they're stronger. If that even makes sense. They're like a tougher consistency than a soup, because when you cook a yam will get soft, but it takes a lot longer. What else? Okra. Yeah. That's a big one that they brought with them.
I love fried okra.
Yeah, me too.
I haven't had it in a while, but
I love okra. It was used as a thickener for because it's very. I don't know, really. My mom's always hated it, but I like it a lot.
I love it, yeah, for sure.
But it's just like those little things that they brought with them, and think about how much we use it to this day. I don't know. I think that.
I would really love to see you with a cooking show.
Yeah.
Because I would watch it.
I would like to have a cooking show. Here's the thing. I just don't want to be. I've worked in the hospitality industry my whole basically working experience. I was a valet for a brief moment, and unless it's not hard work that's an issue for me, because I have really good work ethic in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it's sometimes, unless you're doing it all yourself, it becomes out of your control. And then you're putting the control into somebody else's hands, and then they have to execute something that is in your mind. And it's never, let's be honest, even a tattoo or something, you have, even my nails, something simple. I'll go into a nail salon and I'll show you a picture, this is what I want. And then I get done and I'm like, what the fuck? What picture were you looking at? Now I don't even want to sit here for any longer. I'm just going to leave and I'm going to cry in my car and rip my nails off, because but nobody is going to see.
Are you a perfectionist? When it comes to cooking? Let's just talk about it cooking. Well, your nails
Do I get upset when things don't come out how I want them to? Yeah. Yes. That's everything in life. Yeah. I guess maybe.
Expectations.
I'm very organized.
So you don't believe in I heard this quote, they said, do not have expectations for somebody or something or whatever, like never have expectations. Do you have expectations?
I guess.
Yeah.
But maybe not knowingly. Because I do get upset with myself when I don't succeed. And if it's something small, then I tend not to make it any larger. Because I already didn't succeed at that small thing. So I'm like, why would I? But that's when I hold myself back. Like you said, there's so many things that I could be doing and I just don't because...
do you think sometimes people get held back because I think we were talking about this earlier, but they want success right away. Is that something
that's not an issue for me.
Okay.
I know that everything comes with time and you have to put in the work to be able to reap the benefits. It has nothing to do with that. It's just, honestly, for me, it's starting something and then realizing that it's not my dream, and I know that maybe owning a restaurant sometime in my life would be something that I'd like to do, but I don't think that
right now.
I know that it's what other people would want from me because they do like my cooking and I think that that's fabulous. I do love that people think that they think something of me and what I like to do. I think that it's great that people think of me at all, to be honest, but it's not what I want. I don't want to have a restaurant. I've worked in them my whole life and it's draining.
Yeah.
And it sucks your entire fucking soul. Like, it's everything. That's all you worry about is your day. Like, the owners of my restaurant are there constantly. And I just, of course, because they want to see their place succeed. But then you have chains like Applebee's and stuff, and they don't give a fuck about the food that they sell. They just want you to pump out money and, get that shit, put those appetizers on half price. We don't care. Just make sure the chicken's cooked so they don't die. That's and I don't want that, but I also don't want to be like the owners of the restaurant that I work at where, that
they're all the time.
It becomes, president over everything in life. Yeah. I want to be able to have the thing that I love, but also have other things that I love, and be able to find that balance. So I don't think that having a restaurant for me right now, I would be able to have that balance.
I think that because Bolt and I see it in our heads all the time, but I think that by you having a show, right, whenever you want it, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever, and also having like you just gave us some jewels that I didn't even know, you just creating seasoning, selling seasoning or something like that to a means of not quit your job, but just you're putting yourself out there. And over time,
building a brand.
Yeah, you have a brand like White Duck, you know what I mean? Them motherfuckers swinging all the time, and they're good. I'm not even gonna lie, but for you don't want to be tied down in a brick and mortar, but you can have your own stuff going to where you can have that free time and. There's probably people right now sitting at home man, I like to cook too. Yeah. How do I get started? You know what I mean? How do I put seasonings together? You know what I mean?
I think that's another thing that's hard for me to, because sometimes it's hard to put into words what it just comes natural. I don't know. I don't really know how to tell somebody when chicken's cooked. I just know. I have cooked. Like I said, chicken is in my blood. It's just, I just know. I don't put timers on for shit. I just look at it and I'm like.
But that's interesting. If I saw you cooking, I'm like, damn, how she know the chicken finished?
I don't know. But my mom's always
it's done?
My mom's like, you always cook chicken perfect. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's repetition at this point. But it's also bartending. It's not my passion. But I'd like to say that I'm decent at it. I'm pretty fast. I'm pretty
knowledgeable.
I'm
that's a hard job.
It's fast paced. But I like that. I like that. I don't like talking to people. That is the.
And we sitting here talking.
Well, yeah, but I don't like forced conversation. I don't like having to
small talk.
Yeah, it's such a waste of time. Personally, that's how I feel. I'm just do you even care?
What makes you mad? I'm interested.
A lot.
Name 5 things.
I get irritated very easily.
Okay.
And I should just not. I don't.
But the thing is, you do yoga, don't you?
Yeah.
So
I do yoga because I got aches and pains and it stretches out my body. I
Okay.
still listen to rap while I'm doing yoga. So
it's called trap rap.
Yeah,
Trap
Lil
yoga.
But
Lil Boosie.
what? Yeah.
Old Boosie.
Yeah.
Oh
Boosie,
yeah,
of
absolutely.
course. What irritates me? I think that pretentiousness irritates me the most.
Ooh.
Somebody that walks in and just expects something from me because they think that I'm supposed to give them something. And when at this point when I interview, like this interview that I had, I've had this job for almost a year now, and I love working there. I love the people that I work with. I think it's a well-oiled machine. It's the best restaurant I've worked at. But when I interviewed, he asked me, you know, my strengths and weaknesses, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I said that I think that my strength is being assertive. And I also think that's my weakness sometimes because I be quick to be like, you're not going to fucking talk to me like that. You know, like, I don't know. And I told him in the interview, I said, listen, I'm not one of those people that's going to go get, wait, hold on a minute. Let me go get a manager. I'm going to say something right then.
Where does that come from?
If I feel, I think that goes back to like my parents, you know,
Yeah.
like my parents, like I said, they both were judged a lot, you know, just being who they are. And they felt the need, they had to stick up for themselves. And I did too at a young age. I went to a primarily white school and kids didn't really understand. And I didn't either because I'm a kid and I didn't understand why they thought I was so different. My hair was so curly and I always had to wear my hair up and they all got to wear their hair down and I had to do things differently.
Why couldn't you wear it down?
Oh, my mom just didn't want, because it'd get naughty and
Gotcha.
I would roll around, you know,
Okay.
like I was a child.
I thought that was just something.
I'd have stuff in my hair,
Gotcha.
and, you know,
I
like
gotcha.
whatever. And it's stupid little things like that, but when you're set apart from like the majority, you just feel different. You know, you feel like, and you have to find your own way. So it took a long, and I'm still doing it. There's things that like laying down my edges. I did not do that. My best friend did it. I can't do it. I've tried. I can't do it. But I feel like it's a part of like a certain culture that I just didn't get exposed to. I did grow up with I grew up with a black man, but like.
The woman side of it.
Yeah, the woman side of it. Like I didn't
the
get
comb,
exposed.
the hot comb,
I didn't get
and stuff like
exposed to
that.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
My dad was kind of like distant from his family, so I wasn't really. And black culture is strong, you know, and I'd like to be a part of it, but sometimes I even feel like an outsider
Too
with
much.
that. You know,
Yeah.
it's not even that it's too much.
It's like-
I think that it's great, but I don't know where I fit in. You know, like.
Wow.
So it's always been a struggle. I think that I've always gravitated to cooking. I'm an only child, so I'm very okay with being alone. I don't really need to be around people, but I tend to isolate myself.
You don't have kids?
Hell no. I got a dog.
You say hell no.
No.
You don't plan on having kids?
I
Do you want kids?
I
I'm
think
not
I would
planning
like to.
on it.
I mean, I don't plan on it, but I would like to have children or
And
a
would
child.
you teach your daughter cooking? How to cook?
I mean,
You
yeah, I
just pull her in the
guess. You know,
kitchen.
I think that I would want, if I ever had a child, I don't think I'd ever, it's hard. You know, being a parent is, I don't even know, dude. Like, that probably is the hardest thing that possibly, you know, because, like, you obviously want to do you and be your own individual, but when you have, like, little beings that are watching you and, you know, watching you do you, you know, and you trying to be your own individual, they're gonna, obviously, like, they look up to you, you know, like, they're gonna want to, I don't know, you know.
I can only speak for being a parent as a father.
Yeah.
Even when I'm doing stuff, like whatever I'm doing, taking them to Busch Gardens, whatever, I always feel like I'm not doing enough.
Yeah.
And that's like anxiety that flows through me. And then if I do make a mistake or if I've made mistakes in the past, I know that they don't even kind of like remember it, but it's always in my mind like, damn,
Is that going to affect them?
yeah, how did that affect them? You know what I mean?
I think that that's a huge thing for me. I do want to have kids. I don't know when. I know that if I got pregnant, like, I would have a child. I think that it would be irresponsible at this point in my life, 27, to not have a child.
What do you mean?
I don't know. That's a personal thing. That's nothing against anybody else. You know? That's just me. Like if I got pregnant, I'd have a child. At the age
Oh, you
of,
mean like not having it?
I think that not having it would be selfish.
Abortion.
Yeah.
Okay.
At this point in my life,
Younger.
You know, like, yeah,
20,
I can't speak
19,
for everybody
yeah.
else, but like at this point in my life, if I got pregnant, I would have a child. Like,
Right.
But I think that's the biggest thing is like, how do you know that you're doing it right? I would never want to project
No.
what I love and like what I like to do and what makes me happy on my kid, because honestly, when you're giving birth to a human, you can't change who that person is. You just can mold and groom them to be a decent person. You raise them with morals and values and, you know, respect. And then who they are comes in time, because you can't change that. That people are born to be who they're going to be.
It's
You know?
hard. It's harder with my daughter
Okay.
because I'm not a female.
Female, so it's hard to relate.
It's
yeah.
hard. It's hard, especially when she came to have her time. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Definitely.
It was like the most uncomfortable thing
Yeah,
because
definitely.
she was my baby,
Yeah.
and then
And
like
now
that
she's
happened.
changing. Yeah.
It's like, hi, dad, father. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like, damn, you ain't never used to talk to me like that.
Yeah.
So it broke my heart a little bit, but I have to understand that she's growing up, she's becoming a mature
I remember
young
when
adult.
when I call my dad daddy, and then I remember the day where I was just like, Dad. I remember the first time I yelled at him. I remember a lot of things when it comes to my dad, you know, like my mom, it was, yeah, I mean, I guess it is a different dynamic, because my mom, it was never, you know, I never felt like awkward.
Yeah.
I never felt that awkwardness. I never had to explain, you know, how I felt
Yeah.
to my mom, because she is a woman and she knows that.
But you
So-
felt awkward around your dad?
My dad's not really, it's not awkward. I just felt like I couldn't talk to him about certain things because he just wouldn't understand.
Did your dad show empathy?
uh,
Is he a tough?
Yeah, very tough exterior. But my dad has 5 sisters. So like he would go into the store and buy tampons for me or carry my mom's purse. He's always been very he knows who he is type person, but he doesn't really take the time to walk in somebody else's shoes. So no, he doesn't really have that much empathy, which I've been told that I also don't have that much empathy. But I think that it's in certain situations that I don't have that much empathy.
What's your zodiac sign?
A Pisces.
I don't know too much about Pisces.
I don't know shit about Pisces either, to be honest. I know that sometimes they're lazy, and that's true.
I'm a Pisces, but I don't know shit about Pisces.
I don't really, I mean, you know, I don't know. I know that nothing. I know nothing. I read Laziness one time in a Pisces book, and I was like, oh, that's true.
How often do you do yoga?
Oh, I try to do it twice a week.
Yeah.
At least, yeah. I do like doing it. I like being out. I really like the morning when I can get up, and I like stillness. I don't really like the nighttime that much. I think that bad things happen at night, and I don't know why I feel like that. His face, he's like, what? Yeah. I just feel like if that's just how I feel, I don't know why. I don't know. I don't like to watch anything on TV that's not happy or funny. I don't want to watch any negative.
I don't watch the news.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
I don't even have cable. I don't watch none of that shit. I just watch only positive or funny or cooking. Maybe a little suspenseful, but nothing scary. No tragedy. I don't want to watch no true crime. None of that. If it's meant to be, then it shall be. If I'm supposed to, you know, like, I don't want that. And then one of my best friends was like, well, I watch it and listen to it because you never know. And I'm like, exactly. So what if you're just putting all that on yourself and it's never going to happen?
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't want to know.
Damn,
you know,
I don't
like,
watch that shit either.
I'm sorry. Like, I just don't want to know. I just don't want to know. So that correlates to me with dark, you know, like darkness. Ugh. I'm just like, I don't want anything to do with it. So, like, I like to do yoga, wake up in the morning, do yoga. I don't know. I just feel like it's like a light. I've never loved working out. My dad's always loved working out, but I feel like he has ADHD or something. And because he would go, he's an extremist. Like, He's all or nothing. He's doing 1,500 push-ups, and he'd make me ride my bike 3 miles to this park to walk around the freaking park or rollerblade around the park while he's doing pull-ups and push-ups and all this stuff, and I've never even been able to do a pull-up. So no matter how much I've tried, like I can't. Like if
but
I
you hate working out.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I think
You had a personal trainer.
I know you're great.
We're not getting personal.
Honestly, I think that for a time, like you really helped me. The hardest thing for me about working out is the culture in the gym, and I know that we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
I think that gym culture, it's hard. It's like it's a defeating thing. Sometimes just walking in there and everybody's like super pumped and they're all fucking like with their I don't even know what pre-workout I mean, I guess it's pre-workout and they're post-workout and then they're doing this and they're shaking shit and they're doing it and all I do is drink water and I'm still gonna eat maybe a McChicken when I get off here,
Straight up.
I don't care, like I come here because I think that it's the right thing to do for my body, but like some people when you walk into the gym, it's just like this, I'm just like this. I just feel so defeated. I'm just like, I just want to go to the quietest corner and I just want you to leave me alone. I don't want anybody to look at me. What if I drop this dumbbell on my toes? This type of situation. Like my first experience in the gym was horrible. I went with the guy that I debate with all the time, and when he started on the gym, he's always loved it. He likes it. And I went and I tried to do the assisted pull-up thing, and I fell off. I didn't know how to get on and off of it. Honestly, it's a pretty difficult machine. Okay, unless you read the directions. And so I got off, and it hit me in my face because it comes up. Oh my God!
Yeah.
And it's 5:00. At Anytime
PM.
Fitness.
Oh,
PM.
wow.
So
it's packed.
if you guys go to the gym, you know how many people were in there. And I was devastated, mortified. And I didn't go back to the gym until I met you, which I was 23, I think. So I was probably 18 or 19 when that happened. And that was the first time I had been to the gym and the last until I went to a personal gym, which then... After that, when we stopped working out, I got a job at the country club.
Yeah.
And that was a private club, and I got to use the gym as an amenities. And going to that gym was less aggressive. I don't feel like people didn't give a shit what I was doing. I mean, I seen those people all the time. I was serving them. Sorry, there's pimple patch on my face, and it's gross. Anyway, so I would see them in the restaurant and stuff, and it was different. They were older, maybe I just didn't feel intimidated, whatever. That gym, I worked out in that gym for 3 years that I worked there. Then when I left that job, now I'm in this situation where I have a membership to Planet Fitness, and I hate it there.
Yeah. So you're paying every month, and you're not.
Yeah, I have to go in there and cancel that shit.
Yeah.
I need to walk in there and do that.
For anybody that doesn't know this, if you don't cancel your membership at a gym, they will charge you 3 months in a row, and if you don't pay it, it goes on your credit. I just want you to know. So 23 years old, what's your 27 now?
Yeah.
So at 23 years old, you came to the gym. We were at Jeff's gym.
Mm-hmm.
How did you find out about Jeff's gym and me training?
Through Mia.
Oh, through Mia. I don't even know how I met her.
Ryan. I think he worked with her at Frenchie's.
Ryan, yes. She moved, I think.
Yeah, I don't really know much about her.
Yeah, okay.
Mia is
okay.
who. And then that was a great experience. And then I lost my job. I got fired. Anyway, that's a dark time. Anyway, so I couldn't afford it anymore, so I stopped coming there. But I learned a lot from that experience, lifting weights. I would have never went to the gym and lifted weights. I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to do it right, without ruining,
yourself,
hurting myself or anything. So that did help. And when I got a job at the country club, I utilized that.
Yeah.
I mean, still, if I do go to the gym, I know how to work out, which does eliminate some of the fears. So you don't feel so, because people, they'll look at you are you stupid bitch?
Yeah.
You don't know how to. You know how to do this?
What's crazy? I hate when people think that I'm looking at them like they're stupid.
Yeah.
Like
you
they
do
don't
that.
like they don't know. I don't. I like people think that I look at them like they're stupid when I already know how you feel when you're going to the gym.
Yeah, it's an accomplishment, especially if you already are physically fit, then it takes a lot for somebody that's not physically fit and is going to the gym to lose weight before they gain that muscle. It takes a lot for them to get their ass into the gym. And I don't want to run on a treadmill. My titties bounce everywhere, and everything else that jiggles on my body bounces all over the place. That, to me, is horrific. And when other people are watching me, I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I hate it. I'm like, I hate it here right now. If I could wear sunglasses like the Terminator in the gym, and or maybe a bag or something.
Nobody's looking at you though.
Yeah, but that's how it feels.
Okay.
Nobody's
looking at you.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Promise. So let's go back to a little bit more. I'm sorry, I just gotta, cause I like eating. I'm a fat kid at heart, like for real, for real. So when you bake, what's something that you enjoy baking?
Something that I enjoy.
Do you make cakes? Can you bake cakes?
Yeah, I kind of go through phases. Like where when I'm successful at something, I'll tend to like bake it a lot, and then I won't bake it again for like a year or 2 years, like until I circle back and I'll see it in a memory and I'm like, oh, that was really good.
Yeah.
So recently, the thing that I was obsessed with making with was I go to this coffee shop. Shout out to Two Crows Coffee in Dunedin. This is my favorite coffee shop. White Duck is very good, but you guys are really far from me. And they make, I think that they get it from a bakery in St. Pete or something, but they're called blonde brownies, and they're kind of like a toffee butterscotch flavor. I honestly don't know. So what you do is you like brown the butter.
Okay.
And they're a blonde brownie essentially, and they're really ooey and gooey. And I would get them from there, and I'm like, you know what? I could probably make this shit. So I did. I made it at home, and then I was obsessed with it. And
You do that a lot? Is that part of being a critic?
Yeah. I will, if I like something a lot, to the point where I find myself going back to get it continuously, which doesn't happen all the time. Like, unfortunately, because I know that I can cook, I'm very, I guess, picky is a good word. When it comes to, like, food can be good, but when something's great and it makes me, I'll drive, if I'm getting in my car to drive to your location, your shit is fire, because like I don't really, if I can just, if I feel like it's whatever, I'll just go to McDonald's,
I got you.
I won't go out of my way to go get it. Like if I end up there, fine, whatever. Like, but if it's really good, and I find with the example that I have is the blondies on the top of my head, like, and I would go there pretty much, 3 times a week to see if they had them because I love them. They were so good. And then I made them at my house and I was like, oh wow, okay, I can do this.
How much is it for one?
Oh yeah, $4.
$4?
So I could pretty much make the whole thing at my house
for $4?
Probably like 6 or 7. So
Still.
And I get a whole pan.
Yeah.
And I like to recently I like to take stuff to people at my job and I'll have them try it. Like I think the first thing I made for them was like a sweet potato coffee cake muffin, and that was really good. And I was obsessed with making those for a little bit. But I also try. It's not that I try, but seasons do play a big part in cooking. So I try to cook things that are in season. I'm still learning when it comes to like seasons and stuff, because obviously I'm not a farmer, so I fucking don't know. I don't know when.
Something's in season.
Certain things are in season. Like corn is always grown, but sometimes corn is better than it's not, or whatever, and or blueberries or strawberries or whatever. I really like cooking with blueberries, like sweet wise. Like I made a blueberry pie once that was very successul.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
I've never had a good blueberry pie.
Oh man, I made a really good one. I made Pop-Tarts last week for my coworkers.
You made Pop-Tarts?
Yeah. Let's see. That's baking wise. I'm trying to think. I love brownies. Like,
yeah.
I love chocolate. I was obsessed with making this like,
Do you keep your recipes?
I've
I know you write it down.
recently I've been trying. No, see, I always didn't. I would just kind of like do it, and then I would never be able to replicate it, which
So-
is not good.
So if you go to the spot to get the blondies,
yeah.
how do you know what's in it? By just tasting it? Do you have that type of skill?
No, I don't have that type of skill, fortunately. I'll look up recipes and see how other people do it, but then I'll kind of take, I'll go off of that because I don't always, everybody does things differently. So sometimes I'll have to go get a recipe. When it comes to baking, I feel like it's, like I said, it's more of a science. So you do kind of have to have a basis. I mean, but most things have a certain base. Like, all cookies are sugar.
Flour.
The base is
Yeah.
sugar, flour, and butter.
Right.
And cakes, and it's all how you do it. Like a cake, you should strain the flour. It should be fluffy. It should be, and when it comes to bread, it's the same. Biscuits should be ice cold when you put them in the oven, but other things shouldn't, because they won't, the butter needs to be ice cold so they rise and they'll create that flakiness. Same goes with pie
What?
crust, baking is definitely, could be sad.
So your
Sad,
mom,
sad.
your mom cooked for your dad, right?
Yes.
So I'm not. So in the dating field,
Mhm.
I feel cooking for women. Most women don't cook.
Really?
I feel that. I feel
Yeah,
like
I don't know.
I feel like a lot of people are going out to eat. How important is that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. Believe me, I think that if somebody's trying to hit on me or something, sometimes when they're trying to break the ice or I don't know what they're doing, they'll be like, you can cook me something, and I'm like,
Dang.
the fuck you think this is?
Yeah.
I cook for myself and my mom because I love her and she gave birth to me. And my friends. I don't like.
But the way he asked wasn't.
The way that I don't have to do shit. That's how I feel in my mind.
That's true.
So I'm not going to cooking for me. If I cook for you, it's because I want to, because I want you to taste my food, because I care for you, because that type of thing. I'm not just gonna be cooking. Cooking is labor. Cooking, to go to a store, I don't think sometimes people are. I'm like spices and it's a lot. If you don't have people want me to come to their house and cook, and they got a spatula and a knife from 1919, and it's dull as fuck, and I'm I'm gonna slip off this chicken and stab myself in the throat, because I can't even cut through it because your knife is so dull. It's I don't, so you want me to come over and cook at your house, but you don't have anything for me to succeed. I can't succeed here, okay? So ultimately I get, whatever, and then my food's not what I want it to be. Now I'm pissed. Now you're eating shitty food because you want me to cook for you in this in this subpar environment, so
How important is it for a couple to cook for each other then?
I mean, when it comes to, I don't know anything about relationships. I've really not been in many. I've been in one serious relationship in my life. I'm not really the dating kind of person. I don't know. I think that when it comes to relationships, I mean, my friendships are really important to me. If I was ever to be whenever, hopefully, if I ever in a relationship with somebody again, we would be friends first. And being a friend is an equal partnership. Any relationship is an equal partnership. You have to put in the same
50-50.
amount of work, if you want to make it work, so, I mean, yeah, it shouldn't just be all on one person, and if you can't cook, then yeah, you better be taking my ass out to eat for the nights that you're supposed to be cooking. Yeah.
So it's 50-50.
Yeah, and that goes
on the bills. Is bill 50/50?
Yeah, and that goes absolutely, and that goes for my friends too. If you can't cook for me, then we better go out to dinner sometimes, because but yeah, I think that nothing should be put on one person, nothing, and because it's too strenuous, that causes rifts, and I don't know, like marriage and stuff. That's a lot also on people. You know, that's
You just had like a moment. You just had a
you know,
heart
like
attack.
that's a lot. I
Many
mean,
of-
I love seeing one of my best friends is about to get. I mean, she's like my sister. Is about to get married, and I do believe that she's doing the right thing. But I also think that she's taking a big leap. You know,
Yeah.
like
Big commitment.
Yeah, tying yourself to somebody financially, and now they're like, you know, like if something happens to you, they have the option. You know, your life is essentially in their hands, and vice versa. You know, like, and
But
that's,
so if something, you know, knock on wood, but if
Yeah.
someone is hurt,
yeah.
that the responsibility is on the other person to
Person.
take care of them.
Yeah, and make the right decisions. And, you know, they are your family now. You know, like, you've grown up with this family, and, you know, they've always been number one, and now you're taking the steps to make your own family, whether it's super small or you're planning to make it large. That's something that, it's just another decision that you're making in life to make your life your own. When, for a long time, you know, like while you're growing up, your life is your own, but it's a lot of other people's too. You know, like you're trying to make other people happy and do the right thing for your parents or your brothers and sisters or your aunts and uncles, you know, whatever. You want to succeed because it's the right thing to do. You know, and it's not always for you, you know, it's for other people. And I feel that sometimes. Like I want to succeed because I think that my parents were successful in life, but I know that they want to see me succeed. You know, like, and when you choose your family and you choose who you're going to get married to, that's something that you truly do for yourself, you know, like, that's scary. For me, personally.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't know, you know, like, so, I don't know if I'll ever get married. I've never really been that little girl that imagined, like, getting married, you know, like, I always pictured myself having a child.
But not being married?
How is that going to happen?
Without being
I
married?
have no idea. I don't have to be married.
That's
to have a
harder.
child.
That's
I
harder.
don't
though.
have to be married to have a child.
That's
but, like,
harder.
How am I going to have the child is the question. Not being married and having children is harder.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you been married with children? Well, have you
No,
been
I
married?
have. I've no, I was just thinking about something. No, I think it's harder because, you know, you kind of want to set that example. I think being married is it's like a dying thing. I think more people are just having kids and just like, you know, whatever. But I think for me, I grew up my mom.
Yeah.
But when my mom was in a relationship, she had a partner, so I could see more of my mom.
Yeah.
And then I knew like she got off at this time and she's at home, and you know whether she was happy or not. I mean, I don't know if I was
More
really
of a family.
Yeah, more of a family, more of like a tribe. You know what I mean? More of like.
Well, my parents were never married, so
I got you.
I think that, and they were together until they weren't for 25 years.
Yeah.
You know, so I guess.
But then they
being
also
married-
didn't have to have that
You know,
that
being
process
married
if
was
they
never,
wanted to divorce.
But that's the
and shit.
thing, you know, being married was never a necessity. If you want to be with somebody, you don't have to be married. But also, you know, like the whole idea of getting married is a beautiful. I'm watching my best friend. She just found her wedding dress yesterday, and I'm not even who's marrying her, but like her walking out of like, you know, the fitting room
Seeing her,
and seeing her dress, I was in awe. I was like, wow. And I know that it's gonna be a beautiful thing. I can't wait to see it. You know, like, and but I don't think that it's for everybody. And I think that it's probably kids are straying away from it, or people are straying away from it because it was pushed on people. It was the right thing to do. Getting married, having children. And at a pretty young age, I'm 27, and people get married, you know, 23, 22, have children, have have the house and the car and the dog, and now they have a baby. Like, that's a lot. Personally, like, and it almost feels suffocating, you know, like, but sometimes I feel like I'm not doing things right because I didn't do that, you know, but that's also.
So it's a double-edged.
Yeah, you know, it's a double-edged sword, but that's what that's what, you know, life has projected on people, that's the right way to do things. So I think that, yeah, kids are trying to, or younger people are trying to take back what's theirs, maybe, you know, like being able to choose your path. There is no right or wrong way, and that is said continuously all the time, but then if you do choose to take a wrong path, you're doing it wrong. You know, so it's like,
Yeah, how do you know?
how do you know? You know,
Even if somebody, an adult or an older adult, told you to do something some type of way, you'd probably be like, how do I know this is the right way?
well, are you a billionaire? What's going on? Did you what, you know, did you make all the right choices in life? How are you going to tell me that I'm wrong when, you know, like what works for you may not work for me. And that's period. It's a very simple statement, but it's the fact, you know, like it's the fact. And at the end of the day, I'm 27. I missed that mark to get married at a young age or a younger age and like do all those things like calculated. So at that point, that's not for me, obviously, because like I didn't do it. So like here I am. So now I have to figure out, you know, where I'm gonna like, you know, that wasn't for me. Like my mom didn't have me until she was 32. So like.
Oh, wow.
That always has been in the back of my mind too. Like it's not necessary to like have a kid in your 20s, you know, like it's not the end all be all. And having a kid personally has not always been, you know, like pushing a kid out of my own body it's not always been a top priority for me. Like that connection, I'm sure, like I do sometimes. I'm like, if I adopted a child, would I be missing that connection, you know? But also when you think about it, there's so many children.
I think there's a change that you
know,
go through though when you have it.
I'm sure, you know, like, but I've always had animals, and I'm not comparing an animal to a child.
But we look like animals. I look like a monkey.
But there is, but I'm saying like, and you have to go and having an animal, and even when they chew up your shit or they piss on the floor or you know whatever, you're choosing. Like I've always had a really big issue when people get animals and then they get them while they're puppies or kittens or cute, and then they give them away. When they like, it's just I'm like, I look at you different. I'm like,
Shout out JJ. Oh my God.
I'm like, if I choose to get something through the good and through the bad, I will keep my animal or keep, you know, because this is what I chose.
Are you a committed person? Like if you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I think.
What would make you not? What would make you break that commitment?
Loyalty, unloyalty, and showing signs of disloyalty. You know, like I'll just distance myself. But you know, in my life, I have let people be disloyal, and I give you another chance. But people don't. I mean, people.
You don't think people change?
I don't know.
People grow and change. What if?
I think people can always resort back to you know, like their ways.
This is my thought process behind that. I feel if someone bumps their head, no matter what that may be, they change, and they never go back to that. Example?
I would have to have an example.
What about serial killers?
I'm pretty sure serial killers sitting in prison right now like, fuck, I fucked up.
Some of
Bubba
them.
next door about to get me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I should have never done that. I can't see my family. Like, all that stuff goes into part. But that's an extreme. I'm talking about...
Everyday people.
Yeah, everyday people. Like, I can't think of an example.
But what makes you make that change when you
young and dumb.
made a bad
What if
decision?
But
how many
you're not the
times
same
you
person 23 as you are now 27.
But I'm not the same person with
I'm trying to
certain
pull a
things
debate
that I
out of you.
do, you know, like certain things that I do and how I execute things, like. But I think that I'm the same person mentally. Like I have the same morals. Like I've always been a loyal. I mean, I tell my white lies every now and then to get out of a situation, but. You know, like, for the most part, I'm a loyal, committed individual, I think. Now, is there people that, you know, I am perceived to have a resting bitch face, to be aggressive, intimidating, blah, 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 blah. You know, whatever. I mean, whatever. That's just, you know, maybe that's something I do because I am shy sometimes, or I do feel out of place, or like, and I tend to just watch instead of talk, because when you don't know something, there's no reason to run your mouth, you know, like, and you know, but whatever. I don't know about changing completely. I wish that was the case. I wish that I felt that, but I don't always.
I feel with men, young men change when they get older. I tell like people that I know that are in their 20s, 25, whatever, because the conversation is different, right? So a 24, 25-year-old male having a conversation with a 35, 36-year-old man, it's a different conversation. You know what I mean?
Of course, life experiences make
Right.
you look at things differently.
And they change. But
I don't
depending
know
on the
if you
situation.
always change. I just think that you look at things differently. So how you execute something may be different. But I've had a lot of disloyalty from people at a young age, friends, and so maybe that's why.
That's
feel
your
that
perspective
way.
because of that?
Yeah, probably
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I did give them the benefit of the doubt, and I thought maybe okay, it was just a mistake, and it would happen again. And then when it happens again, you know, like that, what they say, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, whatever.
But did it happen in the same period of time, or was it like,
Yeah, whatever.
was it like years later, or what?
I mean,
They fooled you once at 22,
Yeah,
but did it
I
happen
mean,
again at 25?
it
and
really
did
doesn't matter how long the time frame is because you already did it once.
Ooh.
You know, like it doesn't matter the time frame. Like it matters that you did me wrong, and I have still been a persistent, loyal individual in your life, and you take that for granted and think that because I forgave you the first time that now you can do it again. And it's not like that. Now I want nothing to do with you, and now, you know, like we're done. But that has, because of those situations, it has affected me having a relationship or even thinking about being in a relationship with another individual. Like I'm like, you know, like I don't even know how to approach that situation. Like because I'm so nervous, you know, that they're gonna be dishonest or disloyal. Honesty is not the, you know, like cheating and stuff, that's horrible. It is a horrible thing. I'm not trying to say that cheating isn't a bad thing. It's a horrible thing. Do I think that people make mistakes? Absolutely. But loyalty is not something that's mistaken. Like, if you're loyal, like, my dad has made many mistakes, but I know that if I call him, and he's been my parents' relationship, they've had lots of issues, you know, but who hasn't? But I know that if my mom called my dad, he would be there in a heartbeat, and he would die for her, like, no questions asked. That's the type of loyalty that I want.
I got you.
Like an unwavering, no, you know, like, if there is a situation where it becomes, like, you have to pick between them, somebody that you kind of know, and me, somebody that you're supposed to be loyal to, there should be no question.
Right.
You know, like, and I feel like I've been put in situations and the person that was supposed to pick me did not, you know, and then they'd come back and be like, I'm sorry, you know, like, it was a lapse in judgment. And I'm like, well, maybe it was a big lie, you know, like, okay, well, you know, now I have a problem, you know, like, you know, so relationships are finicky, I don't know, you know, like, I find myself, when I say the word best friend, or like friend even, you know, like, I feel like I'm getting to the age where they always talked about it, you know, you have only a handful of people that you can really call on, you know, like, whatever. And obviously, like, my parents are number one. But when it comes to friends, you know, it's getting, I have a lot of friends, but there's certain friends that they're not friends anymore, they're family, you know,
Gotcha.
because,
Yeah.
you know, like,
They just turned into
yeah, whatever. And saying
over
that,
time,
and
or
saying
just-
that, yeah, and saying that term out loud. Sometimes when you say it, you know, like best friend. Like I feel like I'm at the age where
Yeah.
there is none of that shit. Either like you know, we're friends or we're family. You know, like we're friends. You know, we're cool. You know,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I say now. I'm like, yeah, we're cool. Like I fuck with them. You know, but or I'm like, yeah, oh my gosh, I love. You know, like oh she's. You know, like that's just how it is. Anyway.
Cool. So we definitely have to have. I think what we out on time. We had 2 hours. That was interesting.
Hour and 38 minutes.
Hour and 38 minutes. Okay. Well, we're going to continue. We're definitely going to have Coop on the next show. This time, it's probably going to be her show because we're going to be in the kitchen cooking with Coop. Did we spell cooking with Coop right?
COOKIN.
With like WIT or WITH?
Yeah, it's spelled correctly.
Yeah. Shout out to the producer. So we're definitely gonna have Coop on the show next time. It's definitely gonna be her show because she's gonna be cooking, like I said. Yes.
And then you guys will be able to eat it.
Yes.
Yeah,
You gonna see my face, yeah. So I want to thank you so much for coming on. Very interesting conversation. Can't wait to see this again. I also want to say happy birthday to my mama. I love you so much, Mom. Wish you were here. She's in South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Shout out to my mom. I love you. I hope you enjoyed your birthday today. Hope you're sipping on some wine. But I love you, Mom. Thank you. Appreciate to our producer, Unorthodox Genius. Follow us on Facebook, Twitch, IG, and stay tuned, and YouTube, and stay tuned for the next episode. All right? Appreciate y'all. Cooking with Coop.